Hi there, welcome back to Sunnyside Journals. I'm just going to do a little bit of what's on my desk today. I've actually been sewing for most of the morning and most of the afternoon. The requests for masks seems to come in waves. I've been sewing face masks. Hold on. Let me show you. Okay, hold on. There we go. Sorry, I've been sewing face masks. Elastic ones and ones that have t-shirt ties. Yeah, this elastic is thick. It was all that was left. And I got like 60 yards of it. So I've got lots of it. But you know what? It still does the trick. And these are terrific to slip into your pocket like that. Easy goes into your pocket, and you can pop your mask on when you need a mask. If you're going to be wearing one for longer periods of time, the t-shirts are much more comfortable. Pardon me. Anyhow, it seems to come in waves. And I'm wondering if it's people that are slowly starting to accept that we're going to be a few months at this to knock this virus out of our stuffing. So if I can implore any of you out there who are handy with your sewing machine, and you're not wearing masks yet, please make yourself and make your loved ones some masks. Or if you have to, just cut up t-shirts, put on a mask. Bandanas make great masks. Just tie it around your face. Tell the kids you're playing, hold up, burglars. Who knows? As long as it protects, if you have to cough, you keep your own germs to yourself. And if we all keep our own germs to ourselves, if everyone wears a mask, it reduces the passing on the virus down to 1.5%, which is incredible. So, okay, I'll get off my soapbox now. So I've done a little bit more work on Her Royal Highness Infanta Isabella Clara Eugenia. There it is. I knew I'd remember it eventually. So, yeah, I changed out the lace. I found this lace, and it's hand crocheted, and it's just so pretty, and I like the unusual shape. It seemed rather regal to me. So I put it on the front and on the back signatures. And then I liked this one, so I put it in the center. But then I'm thinking I still like that original lace that I chose, so I'm going to still put it in anyways. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to show you what you can do if you want to have sewing in your journal. Like I have some sewing on most of these signatures. If you want to have sewing, but say you have already sewn your signatures in and you've attached it in the book, it's very hard to go back in and sew again because you're trying to maneuver this clunky book around your sewing machine. And there are ways to get around doing that. So I thought, even though right now, yeah, mine aren't sewn in, and I could just go ahead and sew. But I thought, you know what, I'll show you what you can do so that you can keep it in the back, tuck it in the back of your mind. So next time, if you get all your signatures sewn in and you think, oh, rats, I really wanted some more sewing, this is a way to do it. So what I've done is this is the original lace that I thought I was going to put on the first and last signature. And I still want it in. So what I've decided is there's 9 signatures in this book. So I've decided I'm going to put lace on the first one, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So this is going to be 3 and 7. So what I've done is I cut a strip of scrapbook paper. I keep a bin down here at my side of my scrapbook offcuts. So I raided my scrapbook offcuts bin, and what I did was, oh, come on, go back in there. So what I did was I just got out my this ruler because it tears scrapbook paper better than my plastic one, and I tore off a strip, and then I inked the edges, And I did it for, I liked these polka dots as well. It's pretty, eh? So I inked the edges. I want one straight edge and I wanted one rough edge. And then I glued the lace onto the back of the straight edge. All right. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to sew this in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause right now. My sewing machine is on the other side of the room. I don't have it handy. A lot of you are able to just grab your sewing machine and plop it in front of you, and I can't do that. I use my mother's old clunky sewing machine, and it's just not that portable. I will be right back. Okay, so what I've done here is I pre-glued the lace on. It just makes it easier rather than trying to hold it in place, especially laces that aren't very flat, like this one. Because it's ruffly, it doesn't always lie. These ones don't lie flat, and they can be tricky to just freehand it, at least for me. So what I've done is I sewed it on, and I did a little bit of a variety. There's some straight edge and some zigzag there. That's kind of fun to sort of to switch it up a bit. And now I'm not sure yet whether I want to leave the long dangly threads or trim them. So of course I always err on the side of leave them long, because you can always trim them off later, right? Or else the new owner can also trim them off, so it doesn't, maybe I enjoy it, but someone else might say these threads aren't for me. Well, it's your journal now, so you do as you please. So anyhow, so in the meantime, with fabric, anyone who's sewing, when I first started watching junk journals being made and learning, that's how most of us have done this, is just watching and learning what we like. At first, when I saw some journalers doing this little tying the knots in the threads thing, I thought, what the heck are you doing that for? You just go backwards and forwards a couple times. That does your knot. Well, yes, that's very true. But of course, I learned eventually to trust the people who have gone before. You can't go forwards and backwards on paper very successfully, because you'll just chew up your paper and it just looks like a horrible mess. And you don't want your threads to necessarily start unraveling. And this is the best way to do it. So just take a second, tie them in knots, and then they'll stay. Then they won't unravel on you, and you can leave them long if you like, or trim them off if you prefer. All right, so we're going to, hold on, let me figure out all my numbers here. We're going to put, what's this? This is 1, this is 2. Oh, 3 is over here. We're going to put a lace ruffle on number 3 and also on number 5. So because I already went ahead and trimmed this side, which is one of the reasons why I couldn't sew it in, I still want to put the lace on this side of the book. So what I'm going to do is just glue it on, and then you'll have the 2 sides. Of course, now I'm second guessing myself and thinking maybe I'll put it on the back of this one, or maybe I'll put it on this one. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the first page of the signature. It could be on this one, and that looks nice because there's blue stripes. On the other hand, this is old paper. This is vintage, and I'm not sure how well it would like to cooperate with glue. So, no. I wonder if I should put it onto my map. I have a map here. And you can, although it's a flip out, if you put it on the correct side, it can still flip out. Hold on, is it? Good. I'm just making sure it's in camera. I think I'm going to put it on here. That way I don't cover up. I like that cool stitching right there. And if I glue it on the other side of this, I'm going to cover up my cool stitching. So I'm going to glue it onto this side of the map. And I think that will look very pretty. And let's see, have I? Yes, I did. That needed to be fortified with some washi tape. This map here that's in the center of the signature is from an atlas that is from 1922. So it's old. It's almost 100 years old. It's very good quality paper, but I didn't know how well it would enjoy being folded and flipped open. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're just simply going to put some glue along here. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac because part of the gluing is going to involve gluing that lace. So whenever I'm dealing with fabric or lace or ribbon, I always get out my Fabri-Tac and I use that. And it's a nice option as well with older papers because it dries. It dries quite quickly, but it doesn't have water in it, so it dries flatter than water-based craft glues. There we go. All right, am I still in camera? I am. Good. And of course that's going the wrong way. There we go. So this is a little option for you for anytime, well, anytime, first of all, but if you've already sewn your signatures in and you want more threads, more sewing in your journal, and you don't want to have to try and klutz around with a book getting it through your sewing machine, this is a pretty way to get the stitches in. So there's your stitches still showing along here, and you actually have added a cute little detail, and you've added your ribbon. And in this case, it's also a flip out, so it still allows for the flip out. All right, so let's put signature number 3. Oh, that looks pretty. And let's find signature 5. Okay, so we got a similar situation. Oh no, 5. We're doing it in 7. Okay. Hence the reason why I number all my signatures. Here we go, 7. All right, so same thing here. I've already put an edging on the front, so I'm just going to find a tougher piece of paper, maybe that's closer to the center, and I'll put it on that. Here's one right here. So we're going to put it along along this one here, and that'll look pretty. So it'll go right there. That'll look nice. All right, let me move this. I'm just going to turn it so that it's easier for me and open this up. So yeah, I've been making masks. Sorry if all y'all are getting tired. I just said all y'all, and I'm Canadian, so that's saying something. If you're getting tired of hearing about masks, sorry, not sorry. That's what we're going to need. We want to get rid of this stupid virus. So I talked to my mom. Yeah, I talked to my mom on the phone. I guess a couple hours ago. They were wonderful. She's doing fine. She was happy. She knew it was me. That's been one of my fears. My mom has dementia, and she is slowly losing the people in her world. And I wondered whether this would be enough to put her over the edge of not knowing who I am. She hasn't seen me in 6 weeks. And yeah, no, she knew who I was. The nurse brought the phone in, and she was on speakerphone so that the nurse could you know, if she needed to hang up or anything, the nurse would be aware of what's going on. And she actually said to the nurse, she said, "Oh, it's my daughter. She does my hair." And then she said to me, "I need your help with my hair." Aw, and it was, you know what? It was nice to hear. She said, "I miss you." And I said, "I miss you too, Mom." She said, "When can you come and see me?" And I said, "As soon as the doctors say that I can come see you, I will be there with bells on." And she thought that was funny. So she's doing fine. She said she was drinking some ginger ale. So that's nice. She's had a little bit of a digestive issue. They're not concerned that it's anything. They're, knock on wood, they're corona free. But she had a little bit of a digestive issue. I won't go into details, but they sort of have a rule that if you have this digestive issue twice, that you have to stay, you're confined to your room until a swab comes back, deciding one way or the other. Oh, look at that. Yes, I love it. Okay, yeah, that's good. Anyhow, so, and she's completely unaware of that. She just thinks that she's not a social person anyways. So she's just thinks she's getting lots of extra care because they're bringing her meals to her room and they're checking in on her frequently and lots of temperature checks and that. And fortunately, she has a lovely window that overlooks the garden. And she was telling me, she says, "Oh, I sit by my window, I watch the birds." And so that's good. All right, that looks nice. What do you think, huh? That, oh, that just looks glorious, like her glorious ruff that she has around her neck. Okay, I like that. Let's put the lid back on the glue. Now, I was thinking I want to put, oh, my desk's such a mess. It's such a mess. I've been cutting fabric here, and then I move everything out of the way, and then, anyhow, I have these precious, precious few pages left from an old antique portrait album. And it was the kind of album that holds those cabinet cards. And you can see from the back where I ripped it apart, you could slide them in. And then it was pictures of your loved ones. It says family portraits. Isn't that pretty? Anyhow, so I want to put, and you know me, sometimes I like to put slide-in windows. So I'm thinking I want to put one on the front page and then slide in maybe a fun black and white photo. And that way it's slidable so that the next person, if they don't want to be looking at, you know, Almanzo Wilder or whoever's picture I choose, they can pull it out and they can put maybe in a photo of their loved one. So we're going to work on that. Let's move you out of the way, Your Royal Highness. And cutting board. So I don't want to lose this gold, and so it's going to be a little bit off shape, but I'm okay with that. I want this journal really to be an all sorts journal, and I'm trying my best to not get myself going down the theme tangent. I really, really would like this book to be a whole mishmash of all kinds of wonderful things. So I don't want it to start suddenly becoming a Spanish royalty or a preacher's book, or, you know, there's a lot of tempting themes. I could find myself wandering down that rabbit hole, and I don't want to. I want this to genuinely be junky all sorts. Well, it's not junk. You and I know it's not junk. This is good stuff. So, yeah. So I'm going to Hold on. Where are you? There you are. One of my few little punches that I do like. It gives a funny little square edge, and I like it. So I'm doing my best to just really, I'd like to have each page turn in her. Where are you? Come on over. To be a sort of a surprise, like, oh, wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Rather than it to be too predictable. There we go. All right, so now I want to ink this a little. I found these pages at my Way store, my store where you just take your stuff to the cash and they put it on a scale and they tell you the happy news when they're done. Boy, I tell you, the happy news is when they say, we're open. Oh, that'd be wonderful. And I'm really, really craving going to my Kirby Church book sale. So who knows when that'll happen. They're starting to make noises about slowly opening things up. I don't think we're ready. And I understand the urgency. People's budgets are pushed way beyond comfortable. And I don't know what the answer to that is either. But I don't think, I still go to stores and I see people not in masks, not taking care. I was at my drugstore the other day. I had to pick up a prescription and I literally saw a staff member from the drugstore sneeze into her hand and then reach over and turn the doorknob to go into the back storage room of the drugstore with a bare hand. So if they can't even get it right at a drugstore, we are nowhere near ready until we can educate people on, okay, you want to go out in public? This is what you got to do. And you've got to do it like your life depends on it, or someone you love's life depends on it. There must be someone in this world that you love enough to be more careful. Okay, that looks nice. I like that. Now I want a bit more gold at the end, and I do have some gilding wax, but I'm a little nervous to use it because it really gets everywhere. I have not perfected my application of gilding wax. But I feel like it just needs a little bit more wax along there. I'm thinking I've got a dried up wet wipe here. There's an oxymoron. I have a dry wet wipe. Let's see if that... Oh, you don't even want to stick to the dry wet wipe. See how it's so pretty and so shimmery. And I really do love it. And I keep searching on YouTube for someone who has a tutorial on how to work with gilding wax. I have found tutorials on how to work with gilding wax on furniture, but I have not found a tutorial for working on gilding wax with paper. And if you know of one, can you please list it below? Or if you have done it yourself, could you please speak up wave your hand at me and point me in the right direction, because I'd really like to know if there are better ways that I can be playing with this, because I love it. And I guess maybe if nobody's done anything yet, I'm just going to have to keep playing with it until I become the expert, I guess. That's a joke. Sorry. But you can see I've already got it all over that hand. It really gets everywhere. And so make sure that you don't have anything too precious nearby, because it could get gilded. I've done this with bare fingers, and boy, it's yeah, it can be a mess. Oh, that looks nice. Oh, jeepers. Hold on. See, I got a little too much there. I think I saved the day. Yes, I did. Maybe if I go at it this way, that might be easier. Let's try. No, that's not working. Come on. My poor fingernails have taken such a beating. With all the hand washing, and then all the hours of working with fabric, with the sewing of the masks, and then of course my beloved paperwork. My fingernails, they've been peeling and splitting, and this one just ripped right off. And then of course I can't leave well enough alone, and you know, you gotta chew on the hangnails because it's very attractive. And I guess this is another Catherine bearing her soul session. That's me. Anyhow, so my hands are just taking such a beating. I'm using hand creams because they say it's not safe to have cuts. It just allows more entry points if you do get virus on your hands. Now, I'm not leaving the house. I think I've been out of my house once a week since this started. The longest I went, I think, was like 11 days. But this week I seem to have been out once. Oh, that looks really nice. I hope that's showing up on camera. Do you see the shimmery gold that I've put around the edge? And it makes it appear a little bit more finished because there's a little bit of unbalance here, but I may put, I don't know, maybe some little Victorian flowery things there, you know. I just want to, oh great, now I've got, gilding wax would be a good thing to use. You know how they do those things now with glitter to try and get people to understand how the virus can go from surface to surface to hand to surface? Gilding wax would be a good way to also convey that. Come on. Come on. I just want to do that little edge along there. It's silly, I know. Oh, come on. Be good. Oh, it's sticking. All right. I wonder how old these pages are. I would say probably 1800s, do you think? Because that's the kind of photos that would have gone into this photo album, were those cabinet cards from the 1800s. See, I'm getting wax everywhere. Now I gotta wipe it up. Okay, that's not too bad. I guess some by golly method. that looks better. I don't mind if it's a little haphazard. It's a junk journal. Maybe a little on that. All right. Well, we might as well just go for it, right? I just want a little bit more on this side. There. All right, I'm going to use my bare fingers because I'm going to wash my hands now. So it doesn't matter anymore. Yay. Okay. I love it. Woohoo. All right. Now let's get this nuclear waste out of here. Let's get my hands clean. There's just wax everywhere. Oh, and that's where I jabbed myself. Never ever point the X-Acto blade at yourself when you're cutting open old signature threads. Word to the wise. Fortunately, I only hit my finger and not my abdomen. Don't tell my husband. It terrifies him that I use X-Acto knives when I'm working. I'm usually pretty safe because I had a bad X-Acto blade experience in high school. And I usually am extra cautious with them because I did not enjoy it. All right, hold on. Oh, what am I for time? Jeepers. Oh, I'm going to get cut off any second. All right, well, I guess we will finish this later because my phone is going to, I might even already be cut off. I don't know. Thanks for joining. Thanks for visiting with me. I'm sorry if I rambled on too much about masks. It's just close to my heart right now because it feels like such a simple thing to help get this really under control. So I apologize, but in a way I don't. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay home if you can. Bye.